a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame.
Hey, good morning. So nice to see you this beautiful Sunday morning. Happy Sunday morning to you all. We will continue our studies from Daniel's chapter number 4, verse 1 through 10. We'll try to cover this. And there's a lot of ground in it, so I would like to cover the most of it. So let's start without further delay. Daniel chapter number 4, verse 4 to 5. It says, I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at home in my palace, contended and prosper. Okay, so just focus. If you do not have your Bible with me right now this Sunday morning, so just go and open the Bible. Before we go into the study, a Sunday morning study online does not mean that you should not go to church, because it's written in the Bible, where two and more people come together in my name, two or three, I will be in their midst. So it means online doesn't mean, that does not fulfill that you should not go to church. Go to church. Okay, so let's start. Daniel chapter number 4, verse 4 to 5. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at home in my place, contented and prosperous. So what he's saying, that he is in perfect peace. Okay, Daniel chapter 4, verse 4 to 5, and we're just going to cover from Daniel 4, 1 through 10 this Sunday morning. So he was completely in peace. Why he's saying it? So I'm just going to tell you, because that's why we are studying Daniel chapter number 4. I had a dream that made me afraid as I was lying in bed. The images and visions that passed through my mind terrified me. First of all, he said that he was completely in peace. What does it mean? It means what he's just trying to say. Most of the times, what our thoughts are, they come into the dreams. Our thoughts converts into the dream, and this is more scientific also. If you think about something a lot, or you worry about something a lot, desire something deeply, so that turns into a dream. And he's saying that he was completely content. So it was not his thoughts were coming, they were turning into dream. First of all, he's just taking this a thing out, that it is not what he was thinking that come into the thought. Even the Bible tells about this, that our thoughts come into the dreams. Is Ecclesiastics, if you see chapter number 5, verse 3, it says a dream comes when there are many cares, when you are just worried. So that's in Ecclesiastics chapter 5, verse 3, that our cares, our worries, our thoughts, they turn into the dream. It means the busy mind, more the busier the mind is, the more the dreams. Sometimes, some people, they say, why don't have any dreams? I don't see dreams. I said, okay, because I think go and get busy. No, that's okay. So busy mind is, it means the more active mind, the more dreams are there. Now there are spiritual dreams also, and that is beyond what your thoughts are. From and those dreams we see in the Bible, they come from God. Let me give you some examples. Joseph was warned in dreams, and we see in the Bible over and over, Joseph, he was a dream teller also. He would just tell, he would just if someone will bring the dream, he will tell exactly what it means. Okay, so Pontius Pilate's wife, no, wives of Pontius Pilate, she had a troubling dream about Jesus in the New Testament, and we see, and those dreams, they were actually spiritual dreams. They were true, and they were just telling exactly what's coming ahead. So those dreams are different than the dreams I'm just talking about, the thoughts. Yes, dreams can come from thoughts, but your mind processes, just like I said, what you think, feel, and experience. But also, not all dreams are your feelings or your thoughts. Some are symbolic also, some are emotional, and some may have spiritual significance. And that's what the spiritual significance dream, what Daniel he was having. And he was saying that he was in complete peace. I just want to again repeat this. He was in complete peace, complete tranquility. Is why they're saying, because he's saying it is not my thoughts, it is something more spiritual. That's what he's saying. And what happened, that dream bothered him, that it seems like that dream is not. And so sometimes this happens when once you have a dream and that dream just passes away, and probably you just wake up as a nightmare, that you had a dream and you had a nightmare and you wake up. But then after a little while ago, you don't even think about that dream. That dream comes and passes away. But this dream, Nebuchadnezzar, he is saying, that dream, it stuck with him. And after, not only he had a nightmare when he was having this dream, but even after, he was having a nightmare about it. And so the other thing, what I just want to say, that what he's just saying, that he was having a perfect life. Most of the time what happens, my brothers and sisters, once you having no worries, the perfect life, that is the breeding ground of unthankfulness also. We see that, I just want to probably like to invoke Paul. Paul, if you see Paul, he writes that God keeps him humble. And the whole Daniel chapter 4, verse 1 through 10, it is about how pride, he had a pride and God humbled him. So Paul, he's writing that God keeps him humble in 2 Corinthians 12, 7 to 9. And see this with me. If you have your Bible, open it and read with me. And it's saying, or because of these surpassingly great revelations, therefore, in order to keep me from becoming conceited. This is 2 Corinthians 12, 7 through 9. Paul is saying that God is keeping him humble. How? I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger of Satan. And then he say this, so I won't boast. Now, my brother and sister, this is not my topic this morning. 2 Corinthians chapter number 12, 7 through 9. This is not my topic. But I just want to say you this, that what Paul, he's writing, that God has given him a thorn on his side. Sometime, lot of times in the Bible, it is the persecution. Most of the time we think probably he's sick. But I think he is just like more, wherever he would go, persecution follows him, and the people, they are opposing him, and that's what he's writing. But oh, anyway, he's just saying that God have given him this thorn because he won't be conceited, or God wanted to keep him humble. No matter how powerful we think, things, my brothers and sisters, they change drastically around us. Sometimes this happens. Nebuchadnezzar knew only who can interrupt this dream. When he had this dream, he called for Nebuchadnezzar. Why? Because he had all the magicians, he had everyone, but he called for Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel chapter 4, verse 8. Let's move further. Finally, Daniel came into my presence and I told him the dream. He's called, okay, very important thing, he called Daniel in his presence. But also, Daniel chapter 4, verse 8, it is written that he called him Belshazzar after the name of his own God. It's written in Daniel 4, verse 8. And the spirit of the holy gods is in him. So, why did he name him Belshazzar? If you want to go back and see what I'm just talking about in Daniel chapter, I think it's first or second, that the reason he named Bel is the Bel is a god of Babylonians. So where is Daniel? Daniel is in Babylon. And Baal is a god, he's another god. And if you see Bel and Baal, they converged into one god. And Baal has a moon. What I'm just trying to tell you is very important. Just take it carefully and listen carefully. Because Baal has a moon on his head, and all the religions, they are associated with the moon god, have so the moon's associations comes in it. If you see Hindu god Shiva, what Hindu god Shiva he has on his head? A moon. He's wearing a moon on his head, and he's wearing a crescent. If you just want to Google those images, but don't do it right now. Just let's finish the study of Daniel chapter number 4, verse 1 to 10. Shiva, he's wearing a moon on his head, and if you see lord of those religions, they are associated with the moon. All the religions associated with the moon, somehow, if you just go back, and if you go back in archaeology or in history, you will see they are associated with Baal. Baal is the god, and Baal and Bel, the same god. And he said, Daniel is saying that I have named Daniel after my own God in Daniel chapter number 4, verse 8, and that is Belshazzar, and Bel is a moon god. Okay, so okay, now if you see in Deuteronomy chapter number verse, and he's calling. Okay, other thing I just want to mention, Nebuchadnezzar is calling the God of Daniel. Why did I mention Belshazzar? Because he's saying that he's after my own God. But he's saying then that, but the God of Daniel, he's a God of gods. What does it mean he's a God of God? It means he's saying he's a true God. In the previous chapter, I just mentioned actually, it's mentioned in the previous chapter the way Daniel, he came out of fire. Actually, when Nebuchadnezzar, he threw him in the fire, he came out of the fire. If you want to go back and just, I don't have time to just go back and do, but he knew this from that incident, from other miracles, that the true God, and he's calling him God of gods. And actually in the Bible there are many times, it's written in the Bible, God of gods. Mean that he is. It does not mean that the other gods, they are that there are more gods than one God. It means the God of gods mean that he is a true God. I just give you some synopsis from the Bible. Deuteronomy chapter number 10, verse 17. If you see, is for the Lord your God is a God of gods and the Lord of lords. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 7. It means he is a true God. All of the gods, they are they are idols, or they are fake gods. Again, Psalm, if you want to read in Psalm chapter number 136, is saying, give thanks to the God of gods, the true God. Give thanks to him. Daniel chapter number 2, verse 47 is also the same thing. But so when Nebuchadnezzar, he's saying God of gods, he meant that he is a true God, and only Daniel, who worshiped the true God, can tell me exactly the interpretation of the dream. That's exactly what's going on. Okay. In Daniel chapter 4, verse 9, I said, Belshazzar, chief of the magician. Belshazzar, who is Belshazzar? Daniel, chief of the magician. I know that the spirit of the holy guards in you, and no mystery is too difficult for you, because he knew that the mystery, who can solve the mystery? The true God. Okay. No mystery is too. I'm on Daniel chapter 4, verse 9. I'm reciting that in front of you. Here is my dream. Interpret it for me. These are the visions I saw while lying in the bed. I looked, and there before me stood a tree in the middle of the land. Its height was enormous. And that's what he's saying, and it is so beautiful. And my brothers and sisters, if you stay with me, and we're just today we're covering only one more verse till 10, but if you stay with me, or if you want to go back, and if you want to catch up with me where I am in Daniel, the study of the book of Daniel is a beautiful book, and you will learn the wealth of knowledge from what I'm just presenting this morning. Okay. And he saw what God has done for Daniel, and he knew what I said. And with his friend, he knew that he's a true God. Okay, I just want to say this. When your enemies, listen to me carefully, what I'm just going to tell. When your enemies acknowledge that the Spirit of the Lord is on you and respect you because of that, then it shows that the hand of God is working. Okay, so that's exactly because what happened, that Nebuchadnezzar, he was enemy of Israelites, and now he's just coming to the realization that the true God is actually the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and that when your enemies, they see the evidence of the Spirit, and they see that the Spirit of God is working on you, and that the Spirit cannot be hidden. It means that your enemies, when they're coming to the realization that your God is a true God, that's where the when that's where the work of God, that means the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is working. Why? If you see in Acts, I just want to evidence of the Spirit cannot be hidden. Let me give you an example from Acts chapter number 4, verse 13. It says, Peter and John stood before religious leaders, the very men who crucified Jesus. When they saw the courage of Peter and John, they were astonished and took note that these men had been with Jesus. You see, those Pharisees, they took notice that the Spirit of the Lord is working on Peter and John, and they took notice their boldness, their sheer boldness, the way they were just coming and they were just talking, because after the crucifixion, what they were doing, they were in the hiding. But when they saw the resurrected Christ, my brothers and sisters, you are the adherent of the true God. Go and boldly proclaim the truth from the Bible. Those people, they are your enemies, they are not your supporters. But when they see that the hand of the God is working on you, the way Nebuchadnezzar he came to Daniel, they will be looking for you, because when they will get in trouble. But anyway, your life becomes an unanswerable testimony. I just want to share one more thing, because the way the life of the Daniel, it just became the testimony in Babylon, the similar way your life become the testimony also. Why? In Acts chapter 4, verse 16, what are we going to do with these men, everyone living in Jerusalem? I'm just reading it. If you see that the enemies, they are acknowledging that Jesus, he is God of gods, he's the Son of God, and he is proclaiming his Father, that he is the true God. It's written in Acts 4:16, what I'm just going to read in front of you. When the enemies of God, when the enemies against working against God, they become and they started realizing that this is the true God. What are we going to do with this? Acts chapter 4, verse 16, I'm reciting, okay? So, what are we going to do with these when everyone living in Jerusalem knows they have performed a notable sign and we cannot deny it? And they said, we cannot deny it means that this is a true God. This is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jesus is the Son of God. He is a true God. And they said, we cannot deny it that all the miracles have been performed, because the miracles have been performed just like a day in front of them. And they did not believe. Did they believe in Jesus? No, they did not believe in Jesus. They did not agree what Jesus was telling them. But one thing I just want to say, they could not deny it. The same with Nebuchadnezzar. He could not deny the presence of the Lord, the presence of the Spirit was there. So God does not need your enemies. I just want to say this, okay? So the point I'm just trying to make, I just want to say this. God does not need your enemies to approve it, but he will create situations where they cannot deny that the work in your ministry is the work of God. That's what I'm just trying to say, okay? This one. Okay, let's move to Daniel chapter 4, verse 10. These are the visions I saw while lying in the bed. I looked, and there before me stood a tree in the middle of the land. Its height was enormous. I'm reciting from Daniel chapter 4, verse 10, so you can keep up with me, okay? So, Daniel chapter 4, verse 10, he saw a tree in the middle of the land. Its height was enormous. The height of the tree was enormous. What does that mean? No, the dream is starting, and I'm just going to, and probably in the next program, we'll just go more deep into it as we are coming to close. The height of the tree was enormous, mean it's representing the kingdom of Nebuchadnezzar in this dream. Mean it was, and it was going straight. And most of the time, if you see, uh, when the tree it grows very tall, it starts tilting one way or the other, or it's just like. But this tree was not tilting; it was straight going. So where all the nations, all the world, they could see this tree. And I'm just coming to the dream of Daniel, and it reached high, grew, and became powerful. Though his empire expanded, his strength was not dissipated. What does that mean? That his strength was just enormous strength. Usually when what I'm just saying is his strength was not dissipated. That's exactly what I'm just trying to say. It means most of the times when the empires they grew astronomically. So what happens when the empires grew astronomically? They start becoming weaker, but thus but we see that the empire of Nebuchadnezzar, it did not become weak. It was like a tree, the strong, big empire, the higher. Because why is this happening? Because my brother and sister, we will see in the next program, the higher the pride, the greater the fall is. And that's what's happening, because he was just becoming so proud in his own empire, and we see his fall also. I'm just gonna to talk about the pride and the fall in Luke chapter number 10, verse 18. Here, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. This is, and this is the connection also to Daniel chapter number 4, that the we what we learned so far, that we should not allow the pride within us, no matter what it is. You have to be humble. And we see, and I just give you an example of Paul also, that he said that there's a constant persecution, and that it said the thorn, but I just elaborated it as a persecution. I elaborated it as a persecution, that there were people, they were always continuously against him, and that those people, they were continuously against him, and it is so he won't become pride in his own eyes, so no pride in him. So he said he cannot boast. So God allows, my brother and sister, temporary exaltation. In Luke chapter number 4, 6, when Satan tempted Jesus, and even see what Satan he's telling Jesus. He's saying, when Satan tempted Jesus, he said, all this authority I'll give you, for it has been delivered to me. Now Satan is saying that authority has given to him, but that is, we know, is a temporary exaltation. Because we saw, and I just recited Luke chapter 10, verse 18. I saw it sit, and I saw Satan fall like that. And we see the same way in Daniel chapter number 4, Nebuchadnezzar, we will see his fall. And that's what the dream he's showing. Now, what we have learned so far, God raises kingdom, God warns people in the spiritual dreams. There's multiple dreams I just mentioned, but the spiritual dreams, God warned Nebuchadnezzar, and God humbles the proud. So this morning, I'm just gonna say this to you. I do not know what you're going through, but whatever talents God has given, use them. But do not become proud what God has given you, because you never know when the things changes. Okay, do not become proud of your talent, whatever God has used it for it. Be humble. Okay, God reveals himself through his faithful servants. No power stands permanently against him. Do not go with the pride in your head anywhere. And if you want to learn something from the book of Daniel, it is so far what I have just recited in front of you, Daniel chapter number 4, verse 1 through 10, that humble yourself. That is the message of this Sunday morning. God bless you all, and God bless you. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you.